All right, let's talk about arguably the most important decision an entrepreneur will need to make at the beginning of any venture, picking the right niche. We're going to talk about how you can identify and pick the right niche in order to succeed and win within a market over here. So I know you're probably thinking, why can't I just work with everybody? And that's how everybody starts with, right? Wouldn't that mean more opportunities? It seems logical. I can target everybody and win every single part of the market. But trust me, I've done this before. The reality is very different. When you try to appeal to everybody, you end up appealing to no one. And choosing a niche isn't just about limiting yourself. It's about focusing your energy where it will make the biggest impact. You need to laser focus on a specific niche, which allows your voice AI empire to truly excel and stand out in the market. By specializing in a specific area, you develop deep expertise and a strong and differentiated brand, which is super critical to win here. And choosing the right niche is crucial. It should be an area where you can maximize your impact and provide the most value to your clients. So there is something which is called a specialist advantage. The more that you hone in, the more chances you increase to win. This could be just healthcare. This could be just trades where you're laser focused on all of the trades that are out there, such as HVAC, plumbing, electricians, and so on, so on, so. And think of it this way, right? Imagine you're at a party and there's a doctor who's a general practitioner and another who specializes in knee injuries. If you've been struggling with a knee problem for months, who are you going to talk to? The specialist, right? It's the same in business. Clients want to talk and work with someone who truly understands their world. Someone who speaks their language, knows their challenges, and has solutions that feel tailor-made for them. Specialists are valued way more than generalists. I would put my best foot forward to try to be a specialist rather than a generalist. Now, when you're a specialist, you solve specific problems better than anyone else. But it's not just about impressing clients. It's also about making your own life easier. When you focus on a niche, you get to know it inside and out. You get to know the industry language, you get to understand common objections, you get to anticipate needs before they're even expressed. And instead of constantly switching gears between industries, you can fine tune your strategies and build deeper expertise. And those deeper expertise is what equals better results. So think about it this way, right? Say you're working with a dentist office one day, and an e-commerce store the next day, and a car dealership the following week. Each of these industries have different needs and you're being pulled in different directions every single time. So you'd have to reinvent the wheel every single time you're speaking to each of those and then context switch in your head. We know that the best results come from focus. So if you just focus, let's say e-commerce stores or healthcare, you'd only need to figure out their systems once and then you replicate that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you know exactly what works and you could refine and scale your approach, which is much more scalable. So specialization is what allows you to truly understand your client's unique challenges and deliver more impactful results. And that's how you just get better results. So let's talk a little bit about how do you stand out in a crowded market. Niches is what helps you stand out in a crowded market. The bonus here is that with Voice AI, luckily we are not in a crowded market whatsoever. It's a blue ocean, but eventually 2 years from today, 3 years from today, it is going to become a little bit of a crowded marketplace. So the truth is that business world can be extremely, extremely competitive. When you position yourself as an expert in a specific field, you naturally reduce the competition. Instead of just competing against hundreds of generalists, you might only be up against a handful of specialists, and that's a much stronger position for you to be in. So you want to establish your expertise, you want to reduce the competition by focusing on a specific niche, and you want to be in a stronger position to actually gain an advantage over your broader competitors. Now, before we start uncovering the niche that's right for you, let's dive into 15 industries where voice AI is making waves. So you know what kind of opportunities are out there. These are industries that are rich with opportunities. Each one has its unique challenges that voice AI can solve. I'll walk you through one by one and highlight the key needs in each, as we've basically spoken to all of them by now. And I'll also give you guys some pros and cons to help you weigh your options in terms of where you specifically want to target. So let's talk about real estate, right? Real estate agents today are swamped with calls, buyers asking about listings, sellers wanting updates, and leads needing follow-ups. Some brokerages have thousands and thousands of home buyers just sitting as fragment leads. So voice AI can handle all these inquiries 24/7. It can book appointments and even answer frequently asked questions. Now, the challenge is that real estate can be very fast paced, so your solution needs to keep up. Now, how you do that is essentially demonstrating how an AI employee, a voice AI agent, can be the equivalent of what an SDR might be doing or a phone call appointment booker might be doing. Same thing goes in automotive, right? Think about the dealerships. They get flooded with calls for test drives, service bookings, inventory questions, and voice AI can streamline this process and free up staff to open up and do other activities. We've spoken to car dealerships like Mercedes, Toyota, Nissan. Some of these have 5,000 or 6,000 leads just sitting in their system, so to speak. So the downside is you might need to integrate with their existing CRM systems, which take a little bit of extra effort. But if they are on some of these modern platforms like Salesforce, which some of them are, you can build integration in a very click, plug and play type of manner. Healthcare is a very big one. Healthcare is one of the most successful industries that are out there. There's so many medical clinics that are across the US, Canada, Europe, and voice AI agents can help you schedule appointments, remind patients about follow-ups, or answer any basic insurance questions. Voice AI can do it all. And the bonus is that, well, the catch and the bonus, healthcare is heavily regulated. So compliance and privacy laws like HIPAA are a must. Luckily, we integrate with HIPAA, so you are completely good. If you have any specific questions about that, feel free to ask in the community. We've worked with some healthcares to integrate quite well into their workflow. So e-commerce, right? E-commerce, customer support, and education. So if you think about online stores, they thrive on 24/7 customer support. Voice AI is probably the perfect product for them, right? It can answer product questions. It can process orders if you wanted to. It can assist with returns. And it's really quite useful for e-commerce stores who, generally speaking, would like to have 24/7 customer support, because that's a missed customer if they don't have that. You can also install the voice bubble on their website. So really the cool part about here is that all these complex inquiries can be handled if you can position the voice AI agent to match the brand's tone and whatnot. Customer support centers, right? Support teams are overwhelmed at every single business by repetitive questions. Almost 70% of their requests are quite generic in nature. So voice AI can handle the basics like tracking orders or resetting passwords. It can do all types of customer support, like picking up the phone, being a virtual receptionist. It could be doing outbound, inbound, what have you. So human agents can focus on some of the bigger issues that exist. Some of the customer support centers, you might run into this issue that there's some resistance where AI might replace their jobs, but the forward-thinking ones will adapt. The future of BPOs and customer support centers is voice AI, so this is a big market. Education is big. Schools and universities deal with endless inquiries about admissions, schedules, and programs. Voice AI can handle all these interactions fairly efficiently, especially during peak times like enrollment periods. What we see in a lot of these educational institutes, so to speak, is that, these are very high ticket offerings. So when you go to school or when somebody's signing up to a specific program, it's a very high ticket offering. And sometimes people do research in the evening, sometimes people do research on the weekends. We've spoken to many universities, and at times after 5 o'clock, there's no routing system to anybody. So that's a missed opportunity, and that's a missed sale. Misinformation gathering session, so to speak. Some of these education institutes are actually a quite unique target market as well. Now let's talk about some of the other big ones. So we have hospitality, legal, and retail. When we think about hospitality, we think a lot about hotels and travel agencies that need to manage their bookings, answer FAQs, provide updates to guests, and voice AI can do all of those. And there's seasonal fluctuations and such within that marketplace, but voice AI is really good for hospitality. Legal firms, right? So law firms, they often get lots of inquiries and consultations and case statuses. Voice AI can pre-qualify these leads and provide this general information. So lawyers are a very good target market. Sometimes they employ personal injury intake assistants that are paid about $75,000 a year just to manage the phones. So this is something that can definitely cross that out for a high ticket item like legal services. With retail, same thing. We've worked with driving school instructors. We've worked with shops. I would also bucket in trades, right? So these are more like brick and mortar type businesses. Your construction businesses, HVAC, plumbing, electricians, and everybody wants to do digital transformation. If they use any sort of digital marketing, which a lot of them do now, you call after 5 to your local plumber, they just won't pick up the phone, and the consumer will go off to the next record, so to speak, the next client, the next Google search result that they're going to call, and that Google search result is going to win that business. So if they have 24/7 support with AQX, as voice AI, it would go ahead and book that appointment for you. So voice AI is super, super interesting for retail, trades, and sort of the construction industry. Now let's talk about finance, insurance, and recruitment. So think about everybody in finance, right? Insurance companies, smaller credit unions, financial advisors, they can all use voice AI for appointment scheduling, accounting queries, any sort of fraud alerts. And just like healthcare, there's some compliance with strict regulations. That's a must in this industry, but we can navigate through those compliance needs and ensure everything's good. Same thing goes with insurance. Policyholders often call about claims or coverage. New clients often call about quotes. Voice AI can triage all those calls, provide updates, and it's quite fun, to be honest with you, working with insurance. We've seen a lot of uptake in that market. Recruitment agencies is also a big one. Recruiters spend a lot of time scheduling interviews and updating candidates, and voice AI can automate all these processes, freeing up time for more strategic tasks. It's a very people-driven, personal touch type business, but there's a lot of mundane activities over there that recruitment would like to do, maybe even take care of the first interview, so to speak, when somebody applies to a job. Now, nonprofits are massive as well, right? Think about nonprofits. Nonprofits as a business rely on donations and community engagement. So voice AI can assist with donor inquiries, event registrations, follow up with all those leads. Budgets are sort of tight in nonprofits. So if you're a little bit flexible, helping them out a little bit more, you can definitely earn their business and be their trusted partner. Food services business, same thing, right? Like any sort of like restaurants, any sort of delivery services that deal with reservations, order tracking, customer feedback. Voice AI can simplify all these tasks and help you win in this space. Technology providers, same thing, right? Tech companies are always looking for ways to improve their user experience. Voice AI can handle onboarding, troubleshootings, and product inquiries. You can place that on your app itself, so a user can just ask it a question and it'll solve it for you. Obviously, you have to customize that solution for them, but that is something that is very, very doable to live on the app itself. Now, there's so many industry opportunities, and as you're probably listening to this, you're probably starting to notice that some industries resonate with you, others interest you more than the others, and that's what you want to sort of pay attention to, right? You want to pay attention to that spark of interest. You want each of these industries, they have immense potential, and this is even all of them. There is just tons of opportunity just waiting to be discovered. That's the beauty about voice AI. There's so much revenue loss in just businesses globally. It's about 3.8 trillion globally, 1.4 trillion just in the United States alone per year revenue loss, and a lot of that is just attributed to not handling your phones properly, not providing effectively good customer service. So voice AI is to the rescue, but you do want to be a specialist and not a generalist, so to speak. Now you might be wondering, right? How do you find the right niche? How do you know which one is right for me? Nothing to worry about there. We're going to dive into step-by-step system for that in this lesson, but I want you to think of this as your foundation. Finding the right niche early on isn't just about making more sales, it's about creating strong, lasting client relationships and positioning yourself for long-term growth. So it's about working smarter and not harder. And the key to building a successful business is finding the right niche, right? One that aligns with your interests and your passions and your experience, someone who you could speak to and they can understand you. And in this section, we're going to walk you through a 3-step process, which is designed to help you identify the perfect niche for your business. First, we'll reflect on your own interests, your own passions, your background to understand yourself and what you have to offer. Next, we'll sort of analyze the market itself to identify the pain points and opportunities where you can provide value. And then finally, we'll evaluate the right fit for you to ensure that the niche that you choose aligns with your specific strengths and capabilities. So by following this systematic approach, you'll be able to select a niche that sets you up for lasting client relationships and long-term growth. In the niche discovery system, it's really a structured process to find your perfect niche. I hope by now you understand why choosing a niche is so important. And we've also identified some of the large niches that are ripe with opportunity. So let's talk about how to actually find your perfect fit. And don't worry, this isn't some guessing game. I'm going to walk you through a simple and structured process to help you brainstorm and narrow down the best options for you. For AQX Pros, we call this the niche discovery system. So let's dive right into it. We're going to start with brainstorming, right? We're going to start with some brainstorming. Grab a piece of paper or open up a notes app, and we're going to dig into three key areas. We're going to dig into your experience, your connections. Where do you have those? Your interests and your passions. Where do those exist? And then market needs for customer interaction solutions. Where does a voice AI solution fit into the bucket of AI as a service for a very specific market? In terms of your experience and connections, think about all the industries where you worked with before. Or where you already know people, you already have somewhat of a network. Maybe you have spent time in hospitality, maybe you spent time in healthcare or finance or trades. And even if you weren't directly involved in those fields, just having some contacts or just understanding that industry can be a huge advantage. Maybe your brother or your cousin or your friend works there, so you can kind of pick their brain and understand their pain points a little bit so you can speak their language. So if you think a little bit about real estate, or you think a little bit about trades, or you think a little bit about hospitality in general, if you know how Airbnbs are run, you probably already have insights into struggles like guest inquiries or scheduling nightmares. I know everybody has called their bank line and they get frustrated after being put on hold for 60 seconds or longer. So that's the type of knowledge, like look for those insights, try to document them, try to come up with at least 3 of these major insights that you have with some of these industries that we just discussed, and write those down, right? Take a piece of paper, write those down, because that is really important. So pause this video if you want and take some extra time to really brainstorm and write down those 3 niches or insights where you have experience and connections, and where you already know these people and whom you could sort of just talk to and get more insight with. So then let's talk about what excites you, right? What are your interests? What are your passions? What are those industries that you find fascinating? So maybe you're a tech enthusiast who's always loved the idea of working in e-commerce, or you're drawn to healthcare because you want to make a difference, or you like trades because you're a little bit more hands-on. And by the way, trades is one of the easiest, in my humble opinion, to kind of get started with, because they just need it. It's something that they need, and that client is worth a lot for them. So passion really matters because it fuels your energy and commitment. Only you know how far you could take it. So you know how passionate you are, you know which industries you understand, you know where your interests lie. So when things get tough, passion is what drives you to the next stage. So jot that down. Anything that catches your interest. It doesn't have to be something that you've worked in before, just an industry or niche that interests you. And again, try to come up with at least 3 of these and write them down. You're going to need them a little bit later. Now let's talk about market needs for customer interaction solutions. I would like to bucket these into those types of businesses that actually have a need for voice AI solutions. And really, when you're thinking about that, consider the industries that rely heavily on communication with their customers. So businesses that get flooded with calls, emails, inquiries every day, all day, every day. Think about some of the industries that we've talked about earlier. Maybe there are some that we haven't mentioned yet. So if an industry's success depends on timely and effective communication, chances are that they need voice AI. So there are lots of businesses that have lots of high volume and they need a fast response time to your customer, because that's what leads to a sale. So write down 5 of these that really come to mind for you. Like I said, it could be healthcare, it could be something in the trades, whether it's electricians, plumbers, HVAC. It could be e-commerce stores, it could be car dealerships, it could be insurance advisors. So really write that down and try to figure out which one is the best for you. Now, look at your list, right? And you should have a mix of industries based on your experience, your passions, and where you see market needs are. So that's your starting point. But how do you narrow it down, right? For each item on your list, ask yourself these 3 questions. Do you feel excited working with this industry every day? And that's important, right? You want to feel good in terms of talking and helping your clients as you go through this. Do you understand, or can you quickly learn their pain points, so to speak? That's super important as well. Can you see yourself building and managing relationships with these people in this field? Are you willing to go to trade shows? Are you willing to hunt for business? That's very, very important. For example, if you've always been fascinated by the auto industry and you know a few dealership owners, that could be your golden opportunity. They're dealing with tons of incoming calls, they're scheduling requests all day, they're following up, it's a high ticket item. Car dealerships make a lot of money once they sell a car. So that's a perfect problem for voice AI to solve. So think hard about that and really just self-reflect on what excites you more, what do you understand more, and where can you build relationships within that industry. Now, think about benefits of where things are familiar to you, where you can hit the ground running. You can be enthusiastic about it. So where you're willing to just go on this journey and find out more. Why this approach works is just focusing on the right interest gives you an edge, right? Let's say you choose an industry you know nothing about, like law firms. You'll spend weeks just learning the basics and talking the language, which can be overwhelming. So you want to pick something that you've already connected to and you're already passionate about so you can hit the ground running. Plus, your enthusiasm will show when you're pitching to potential clients, and that's incredibly compelling. So remember, the goal here isn't to choose your niche just yet. It's just to build a solid list of potential options that might work for you. So don't stress about making the perfect choice right away. This process is about exploration and discovery. Trust your instinct, right? If you feel drawn to a particular industry, pay attention to that. So this isn't just about finding a market that needs voice AI. It's about finding a space where you can truly shine and build your AI as a service business. Now that we've gone through that exercise and we understand niches, and I'm hoping by this point you've selected a few niche options that resonate with you, it's time to take things to the next level, right? So this step is all about understanding the challenges and opportunities in your chosen niche. We're going to do something which is called a business pain point analyzer. And let's really try to just understand the specific challenges and opportunities in your specific niche. And what are we going to do then? We're going to leverage AI to help us out there. Surprise, surprise. So we're going to use AI, ChatGPT specifically, or Claude as a tool to uncover valuable insights. So once you pick a specific industry, things like common pain points, key trends, and the types of solution businesses are already using, you could do that research using AI now. You don't need to pay for it. You just need to go on ChatGPT, search, and ask some information using our prompting guide. So like I said, choosing a niche isn't about just picking something that seems popular or exciting. Make sure ChatGPT is not hallucinating when you're doing some research so you can tell it to not hallucinate. Really just try to understand the dynamics of that industry and figure out how you can make a meaningful impact. And this is where AI is really going to help you, specifically ChatGPT. So it won't give you every answer or replace direct experience, but it's a fantastic way to just explore your niche, get a clearer sense of what's out there and what to expect when you start talking to businesses in your niche so you can go in with your best foot forward there. Now, understanding your niche is sort of the key to creating and presenting solutions that truly resonate with businesses. Think about it, right? If you don't know what challenges those businesses are facing, how can you offer them something that they're going to value? So by asking ChatGPT the right questions, you can role play it with it. You can ask ChatGPT to act like an HVAC business owner with $2 million in revenue. And you'll start to uncover specific pain points that businesses deal with every day, particularly very specific businesses. So learn what the HVAC owners deal with, learn what real estate agents deal with. Why are they constantly missing out on leads? Why can they not answer the calls quickly enough? What happens when a property manager gets a call late at night? What happens when an e-commerce business loses customers because people abandon their shopping carts when they can't find answers to simple questions about their return policy? So revenue loss is what you're solving for with businesses, but these are the types of insights that will help you guide as you build voice AI solutions and voice AI agents to help you frame the initial outreach prospects, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the modules on how to set up a workshop to win new business. So the goal is to come away with a deeper understanding of where these opportunities are and how you yourself as an individual can position yourself to fill them. So let's touch on more on how you can use AI effectively. So like I said, the prompts that you use matter quite a bit. I've crafted an example to help you get started. This will help you focus on a few key areas like identifying pain points, recognizing common objections, industry insights, and you want to identify the key decision makers to focus on. You can copy this prompt directly from the PDF attached in this lesson below in this video. And by using this as a starting point, you'll uncover every single important detail about your niche that you might not have thought about on your own. So using this prompt as a starting point for each industry you're considering to help you make a more informed decision and finalize your decision. So this is the point. The point here is to use ChatGPT as a tool for exploration. It's not just going to tell you definitely whether your niche will succeed or not, but let's use it as a tool, and it'll give you a solid enough foundation to build on. So by the end of this, you'll have a much more clear picture of your chosen niche. With these insights, you'll be ready to narrow down your options and confidently commit to a specific niche by just making ChatGPT or AI your advisor. So what you want to do is you want to identify the pain points. You want to recognize the objections, which is what a customer might say. You want to gain those industry insights, really try to understand it. You want to identify those key contacts, which is focusing on specific decision makers. And you can leverage the prompt below to get started there. So hopefully that helps you in choosing the right niche. And once you've gone through all of this reflection and research, it's really time to make a decision here. And this is the most important step in building your voice AI empire. Don't you worry, it's not about finding the perfect niche for you. It's about starting somewhere where you personally can provide value and make an impact. And we as a community are here to help you and support you in that journey. I hope by now you understand AQX Pros that your niche is the foundation for your work. So it's very important to solidify this decision. Write it down. Writing down your niche helps cement it in your mind and make it feel more real. And remember, this is just the starting point. Your niche will continue to evolve and become more refined over time as you gain more experience. So be ready to adapt and adjust your niche as needed. The most important thing is to get started and learn from this process. And we are here as your AQX community to help you support you in this journey.